Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that ScubaRadio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Up under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for ScubaRadio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me on this very special edition of ScubaRadio because it was 6 years ago today.
Oh, happy anniversary
That I got a new heart.
You didn't get a heart replacement.
Yeah, I got a monkey heart. Remember that?
Oh.
6 years ago. Got that open heart surgery thing.
If you only had a brain.
Yeah, well, there's that. But yeah, it was 6 years ago. I've recovered, fully recovered. The only side effect from my monkey heart, open heart surgery is, if I get agitated, I have a tendency to throw my poo at people. So don't piss me off, Bubble Boy. You know what you can do.
Yeah.
And but I'm kind of in a festive mood because of this. You know what I mean, CJ?
Well, great.
Yeah, great.
Good for you.
Yes.
Look at you go.
Yeah, because, we're going to Fiji. We're basking in the afterglow of lobster mini season, which, by the way, today is the opening of Florida lobster season. The regular season opened up today. So we
go get them.
Snag some more. We already ate our lobster, so we got to go get some more, right?
That's right.
How'd you fix up your Florida spiny lobster last week?
I grilled them, Captain Walt style, with the lettuce on top and the butter.
Kill them and grill them.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you did the Captain Walt recipe.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was as good as he made it, you think?
It was very good.
Yeah. You can Google this.
In fact, I got
YouTube
compliments from my parents and my son.
Really?
And my mom is kind of a lobster snob. She likes the Maine lobster. And she's like, this is actually better than the Maine lobster. I'm like, Of course they are. I said, they always are. Well, I didn't think so. I said, yeah, well, now you know.
Well, when you catch them and they're fresh like that, the Florida spiny lobster, the meat is so sweet.
Yep.
It is tasty. But yeah, you do get these lobster snobs. They're like, it doesn't have a claws. Don't want it. Don't need it. It's like,
fine, more for us.
That's true. Yeah, you don't understand that. If you get like a frozen Florida spiny lobster, yeah, they're not quite as good as the Maine lobster. They don't. Hold
I haven't.
As well.
You know what? I have not had a Maine lobster since I've been diving, because
Why bother?
I would only get it at a restaurant.
You're only going to eat fresh.
I don't think I even had it when we were up in Boston a few years ago. I might have.
Yeah.
I don't think I had lobster.
Yeah. Well, once you have that fresh Florida spiny lobster, it's hard to go back to the old traditional Maine lobster type stuff, and it's very pricey.
Yeah.
Now if you went off the coast of Maine and caught your own Maine lobster with the claws, maybe you'd feel the same way too about that. But yeah, there's something about it when you catch what you're going to eat. It just makes it a little bit more, satisfying.
Right.
And, that's part of the fun of lobster diving is, celebrating your catch in your tummy. It's a good thing. It is a good feeling indeed. And, now that the regular season is open, even though we slayed them last week, as you heard, we limited out 12 lobster per diver.
On the radio.
And, and then we ate them. We ate them, and we loved them. And Barry the Bugger, we let him keep his boat. We had a little friendly wager that whoever caught the most bugs during mini season was going to be able to, get Barry's boat. And I was like, you know what? I really don't have a place for it. So,
you didn't have the heart to actually go through with it.
Yeah. So I said, Barry, you know what?
And we didn't have a trailer.
You caught one more than me. We'll just say that so you can, technically say that you still have your boat. Right, Barry?
Right.
Yeah.
See, he's smiling because he's content with the truth.
I know the truth, but I ate it already.
Okay. Yeah, see, Vinny Two Tanks chiming in. And for the first time ever, laughed at what Barry said.
Uh-oh.
I think that is a...
Have we lowered the bar?
No, that's a win-win for me.
And just when we thought it couldn't get any worse. Hey, Vinny's back after some extended travel to Thailand. Is that where you went, Vinny?
No, I went to Indonesia.
Indonesia, okay, Indonesia. And was on a liveaboard for 2 weeks. Is that right?
No, 10 days, yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay, well, so you were on a liveaboard, what, for a week? Oh, wait, it was a 10-day liveaboard trip, wasn't it?
Yes, double the normal.
I believe it was 10 days, Greg.
10 days.
10.
Okay, 10. Which is
For the fifth
odd.
time.
I mean, usually they're, 7-day trips. Why was this one 10 days as opposed to a typical 7-day liveaboard? Do you know? They just had a special trip going or what?
Occasionally, some people put together a 2-week trip, and I met this group about several years ago. This is my 4th 2-week trip with them.
Yeah. But, well, if it's 2 weeks, it's not generally that's 14 days, just for the record.
I meant it's 10 days of diving. I mean, I called it a 7-day week, but it's 10 days of diving. Straight.
Oh, I
Are
see
these
what you're
business days? Only on business days,
No,
right?
wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Let's get this straight. Yeah, were you on the boat 14 days?
No, 10 days.
Okay, that's not 2 weeks. That's...
Well, all right, whatever.
2 business weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's
meant.
fine. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, that just sounds like you get bonus. I mean, if you get a 10-day liveaboard. But it sounds like they're splitting it up with a longer trip and a shorter trip. Like they'll go 10 days and then maybe they'll do a 5-nighter or something like that or something to that effect. Or do you know with that particular boat? He has a kind of confused look on his
Normally,
face.
Explore Adventure trips are 1 week.
Right, correct.
Which is 5 diving days.
Okay,
right?
Well, it's 7 nights generally, though. Yeah, or 6 nights and 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had 2 6-night trips together in a row on the same boat.
Well,
okay.
Okay. Well, that'd be 12 nights, not 10.
Okay.
So it was 12?
Jesus God.
You know what, Greg? When I'm on vacation,
he doesn't do math.
I don't really pay attention that much. I just dive.
Yeah. Well, so did you go like a Saturday to Saturday, or what was the schedule?
You're beating this to death.
Well, no,
It really is.
I'm just trying to find out what are the logistics.
Nobody cares.
What do you mean? You don't want to go there? I'd love to go to Indonesia and do that.
I'd figure it out when I get there. When I book it.
I don't remember the details, but we were. It was longer than a normal trip.
Okay.
It was twice as long as a normal Explore Adventure trip.
All right.
So that would be 2 weeks.
I would think that would mean 2 weeks, but not necessarily 10 days.
Because usually, isn't it Saturday to Saturday?
Yes.
So
generally.
That'd be 14 days.
Yeah. You don't remember the day that you got
He's
on
a little
the boat?
hazy. He's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, well,
You know
they
what?
include the booze on the boat sometimes.
Actually, on this particular boat, the booze was not included.
Okay, well that I was gonna say no. There's some.
CJ's out.
No, some of the
You son of a bitch.
There are a few
you're
of
not
the
wrong.
liveaboard trips where they don't do that because of the local culture or
Exactly.
the international
this trip
law.
is foreign, so
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so,
like if you go to the Red Sea and you're in Egypt, I mean they don't include the booze on those things because of just where you're at. They there's certain places where they have to abide by the customs. Maldives.
But the hash is free.
The what is free?
The hash is free.
Now we're talking.
Barry has never traveled outside the state of Florida. He knows nothing.
Nope, I haven't.
So anyway, but yeah, okay. So at least we got the logistics out of the way. Now we can actually talk to Vinny about what the diving was like and why he went to Indonesia in the first place. No, he wasn't deported, as far as we know. We'll confirm that here after the break. But we'll talk about the diving he experienced and whether it's something we need to add to the list. I have a feeling the answer is going to be yes. But we got that and a lot more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula.
You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hi, Larry. Florida's spiny lobster season is open and the divers are coming for us.
Fear not, my quaking crustacean. We're way too fast for those bubble-blowing morons.
But they have the equalizer.
The equalizer?
The equalizer is a lightweight lobster snare with a one-handed band-powered trigger that grabs lobsters fast. Get your equalizer now at Florida dive retailers and at lobstersnare.net.
Larry, duck in. I can see your antenna.
Yikes.
The equalizer lobster snare at lobstersnare.net.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
I want to catch the oldest lobster on the planet. I want to look in the magnificent eyes of this beast. Say, oh my God, you're magnificent.
What time is it? It's sexy lobster time. Sexy lobster time. It's sexy lobster time. Who's a sexy lobster? I'm a sexy lobster.
Yes.
You a sexy lobster.
Of course.
You ain't no sexy lobster.
Yes, this is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Sexy Lobster Time was in full effect last week for Bugfest at Lauderdale by the Sea. And by the way, the event and the people that showed up broke records for Bugfest 10-year anniversary. We got the word on that since last week's broadcast, and it was great. The weather was perfect for Bugfest this year. Usually we have some issues for the events where it rains or lightnings and creates all kinds of problems for the cook-off. That was not the case. The wind was a little bit up, chopping up the seas a bit, making it a little bit more challenging to get out on a boat and go after those bugs. But overall, the Bugfest events in Lauderdale by the Sea were phenomenal, and hopefully will transfer into next year's major event. So if you didn't join us this time, make sure you plan same time, same channel, same place next year, and join us for Bugfest. It's the last Wednesday and Thursday of July every year, and I'll be right there. We'll probably be staying at the Plunge Beach Hotel again too. We got to thank those folks, Tom and the gang. They were very accommodating to the Scuba Radio crew, and they had a concert Friday night and the whole thing. It was great. It was just a good time for all divers, whether you're lobster hunting or not. And we literally gave away like $30,000 worth of stuff, by the way.
And if you live in Florida, it's just a quick little road trip, real easy to get to.
Yeah, but even if you're not, it's worth coming.
Yeah,
to come out and just partake in all the festivities and just kind of hang out with your fellow divers and maybe learn a little bit about Florida spiny lobster if you're not so inclined.
Dennis popped over in his plane.
Woods. That's right. Yeah, it was like a who's who of the diving industry, by the way. Yeah, we had the dive god there. We had a whole bunch of people from the dive industry, and then there was us. So Yeah.
They keep inviting us back.
Yeah. They don't.
We
seem
must
to
be
know
doing
any
something
better.
right, or we're at least not doing something
We're
so wrong.
staying just under the radar.
We haven't been banned yet.
Right. Yeah, but
we
good
behaved
times
ourselves for the most part.
You know, that whole area there at Lauderdale by the Sea is so diver friendly. I mean, they have great shore diving there, the best in Florida for sure. And they're looking to just expand it even more. And we kind of addressed some of that last week on the show, and we'll cover it accordingly as time progresses. But I'll tell you what, if you just want to come to Florida and want a great base of operations to do some diving and maybe even a shore dive or two in between some boat diving there in Pompano, Fort Lauderdale, or even down to the Keys, Lauderdale by the Sea is going to be hard to beat. It's a good place to set up shop for sure because you have so much there available, not just for you divers, but for your non-diving friends if you want to go see some stuff on the side and that kind of thing. So we had a good time for sure. The only one missing at Bunkfest was Vinny Two Tanks. You know, he had the gall to schedule a liveaboard trip during Bugfest this year. And but I have a feeling he might have did pretty well himself, despite having some issues with figuring out how long his trip was. He did, I would imagine, have some of the best diving he's ever experienced. Is that a fair assumption there, Vinny, or what would you say?
Yeah, it was. I saw some things I've never seen before, so yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Like?
I saw a big seahorse. I've never seen a seahorse before.
A big one? Like how big? What do you mean? Like
about 3 or 4 inches tall.
How about that? Okay, so a big old seahorse. Yeah, those are pretty rare.
That's cool.
And I saw a bunch of small ones, but, you know, with my eyesight, you know, I saw a bunch of, you know.
The little dinky ones.
Well,
you know,
those are sea monkeys.
Yeah, no, they are
Could
not.
Be.
No, the seahorses are like the canaries in the coal mine. They say if you see seahorses, that means that the reef is a very healthy situation. Did it seem like that? A lot of color, a lot of reef life and that kind of thing?
Yeah,
or what?
it was. The reefs in Indonesia are very, very healthy. Absolutely, yeah.
And that was with Explorer Ventures on their liveaboard boat called what? What Explorer?
The Blue Manta.
The Blue Manta Explorer. There you go. And so you got on that for a couple weeks. And was it mostly small stuff, or was it just a big mix depending on where you were?
It everything from small stuff to big stuff.
Yeah.
They had dives for every type of fish.
Yeah.
Life available.
What was it? I mean, how would you say it was different than other places you've been? Like, how would you compare it to diving, say, you know, when you've been in the Caribbean in the Turks and Caicos or something? How would you describe it?
I think it's a little bit better conditions than the Caribbean.
Yeah, just
I think
they
it's
say
a little bit healthier, bigger. You know, just it's more pristine because it's in a large national park that
they dive.
That they have rangers patrolling it.
Well, and so that's you know, in the Pacific, and they have like, you know, 3,000 more species of coral and fish than they do in the Caribbean. So just in general, the Pacific has a little bit more color. Doesn't mean it's better. It's just, it's different, you know?
Assuming warm water temp?
Well, what do you think?
It wasn't Caribbean warm. It was about 82. So you kind of had to wear a 3 mil. You had to wear a suit.
82? I don't know, man. 82, I'd be all right.
82
That's on the surface, though.
Oh, true.
Oh, okay. Then you hit a thermal climb and maybe
as you do. We were doing 4 dives a day, and I didn't experience this till I've been on liveaboards, but after a while, you start to get cold.
Right, you lose a little body heat.
So you gotta wear a suit.
Well, how warm was it topside? And like when you're on the boat, was it pretty tropical type or tropic type conditions, or was it cool?
Wore 3 mil shorties.
No, I mean when you're out of the water on the boat.
Oh yeah, you're in tropical condition. Yeah, it's tropical.
Like 80 degrees.
It's warm air.
Stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Tropical.
Okay, but down below you can hit a thermal climb and might dip down into the 70s here and there.
Yeah, it wasn't as warm as the Caribbean.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, that's fairly typical. A lot of current and stuff too, or no?
Yeah, there were some challenging current dives.
Yeah.
Yes, there was some real challenging diving.
Well, that brings in the critters, you know. So when you get the currents, you know, we may experience some of that stuff in Fiji when we go down to.
And of course, I forgot my reef hook because there was times when we could hook up.
Yeah, so they had some reef hook dives.
I persevered with a pointer.
Hey, Greg.
Yes,
CJ. Since he's not here,
Yeah.
Can I lobby right now to have Jerry carry the flag when we're in Fiji?
We will have no flags in Fiji.
Really?
Yeah. No, we won't be doing any of that type of drift diving. It's different in Fiji.
They don't make you carry a flag?
No, they do the reef hook type stuff. Well, that's a fairly common thing in that part of the world.
What's that?
Well, on a current dive, you'll you could drift, but generally if you're going with a group, the dive master will take that. You won't split up like we do in Florida sometimes.
Okay, cool.
So they'll do that, but the reef hook system is kind of a different type of setup where you anchor into the reef and watch all the stuff come by you as opposed to drifting.
That's fun.
So yeah, we may do some of that in Fiji, and that sounds like what Vinny Two Tanks did in Indonesia. There you go. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive.
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Got every apparatus unknown to man, a breathing tube, goggles, flippers. What are you looking for? It's a pool, there's no coral. I had none of this growing up. I asked my father, Dad, I want to look underneath the water. Open up your eyes!
Whatever it may take, I keep on trying. Diving into you.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. We are planning to check in with one of the destinations that we're going to visit while we're in Fiji in September. That would be Paradise.
So be real nice to them.
Yes.
So they like us.
But we're going to Paradise. That's actually the name of the resort on the island of Taveuni in Fiji. And once again, we're going to try to connect with them live on the show today.
Is that where the grass is green and the girls are pretty?
We'll have to ask them.
Paradise City?
Only one way to find out. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's coming up. And also, we hope to check in with Dr. Doug Ebersol, being that it is my 6-year anniversary of having open heart surgery. I figure it's good we have an EMT on standby.
He's not an EMT. How dare you?
Dude,
that's insulting as hell to a doctor.
Cardiologist has been demoted to EMT.
Wow. Heart surgeon. How about that? Is that better?
Your warranty has expired.
He's a candy striper now.
Don't make me throw my poo at you. You're agitating me.
I'm not worried. Your aim is horrible. You'd never hit me.
Don't pick on him, CJ. His lips starting to droop.
I'll aim for CJ and whack Bubble Boy right in the noggin with my feces. Anyway,
your scat.
Okay. Before we get back to talking a little bit more about lobster, because it is the opening of regular season today. So we can't go back and restock. We're going to, circle back to that topic. I do want to dive in a little deeper, though, with Vinny Two Tanks, because...
Yeah, let's hear about the big critters he saw.
Yeah. Did you see anything big when you were in Indonesia there, Vinny? Or like, do like a big shark dive or any whale sharks or mantas?
There was everything. There were sharks. There were mantas.
What kind of sharks?
There were white tips and black tip sharks.
Cool.
Sweet. Did they actually do a shark dive, or do they just go to an area where you just see them swimming around?
In Indonesia, you just go to different spots where they got the spots all. Of course, they had the spots all picked out from years of diving that area.
Yeah.
And they take you to the best spots where everything kind of shows up.
Right.
Sea snakes.
Unless they take you to a spot that's for. Sometimes they take you to a spot they call it muck diving, looking for the little stuff. That's a different environment.
Okay,
but overall.
But you did have some muck diving there in Indonesia too.
Yeah,
Muddy Mud
they've
Skipper.
got some, they have some really interesting. There's lots of small stuff that's really intriguing.
Yeah. So I mean, with
That's
your
what she said.
limited visibility because of your eyesight issues, were you having issues on the muck diving?
Yeah, it's really funny. The dive master's pointing stuff out, and I'm telling him, I get back, I go, I can't see it. I'm sorry.
Right.
You're pointing that stuff out.
It's like
Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Roadhog.
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's like the flea circus thing. Oh
Well,
yeah, it's
there's
right there.
They
They're
have
right
some
there.
pretty small stuff. I mean,
but they
then
look like
guys would
alien things. They're pretty
there were some
freaky
guys,
looking. Yeah.
There was some guys on board that had these huge cameras, and they would
Right.
take a picture of it, and then they'd bring it back up. I'd look at, then I could see the picture.
Then you would see it.
But
Correct.
they have these big cameras, these huge macro lenses, and
Right.
that's the only way I could see it.
Yeah. Well, how was the diving that part of the world as far as the culture and that kind of thing? Was it easy
Well,
to
the
get
cool
to,
thing
or was
about-
it
The
kind
cool
of
thing about this boat was that they had actually, I would sometimes be in the water by myself with two dive guides.
Okay.
I mean, there was more employees on board than there was divers.
Really?
I mean, there was,
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did they
so
do
get
that?
this.
Did they
So
set
get
that
this.
dive system up because they knew who you were?
Well, no, this boat just has really good service. And
Well,
Any
okay.
two
For
tanks,
example-
two dive masters.
example,
Good point. Yeah.
For example, they help you dress.
They help you dress.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And,
All right.
And when you
okay.
come back from a dive, they take your suit off for you.
Really?
All
It's
you
not
do
supposed to
all you-
happen.
all you do is sit down. They unzip your suit. You sit down on a bench. They take off your suit for you. The service was impeccable.
Really?
I mean,
okay.
yeah,
so
I hope
wait a
you had
minute.
warm hands.
What was
Nah,
that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
But we do want you. So you're saying they do this for everyone, not just you. This
Yes,
wasn't just
everyone.
a Vinny
Oh, yeah.
Two Tanks specific
no,
thing.
everybody on board got that service. It was
So,
amazing.
all right. So are we talking? So the guys, they were guys that were taking your stuff off, or guys and girls, or
No,
you had your
they
choice?
had no female crew. It was all male crew.
Okay. All right.
It's the opposite
And,
of a Walt,
yeah.
Captain Walt boat.
For example, the cabin I had a king size bed in it. I mean, come on.
Wow.
I didn't have any company, but I did have a king size bed.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds pretty
And
luxurious.
Actually,
Yeah.
the room was bigger than my bedroom in my house. I had it in it, and the bathroom was huge. It's a
Really?
big boat. It's like
okay.
about 140 foot long boat.
Sweet.
It
So
was
this
really
sounds
comfortable.
pretty.
You got
pretty
to
nice.
go on this trip. You got to
Yeah.
take the Blue
A
Man.
lot of food, and food was good and everything.
Oh yeah, the food was great. The only thing is they don't offer. You have to pay for the booze.
Right.
That's the only
Well,
thing.
like I said,
but
that
they had everything else.
local culture thing.
It was just. I mean, you didn't have to want for anything. They took care of everything for you.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. What
I
kind of
just loved it.
food? I mean, was it kind of unique? With the food in that part of the world, or I don't know.
Obviously, you're going to eat food from the. There was a lot of Indonesian food.
Yeah.
It
Which
was
is
mostly
what? What is
Indonesian.
that?
It's like noodle dishes.
Okay.
A lot of noodle dishes, a lot of
All right.
rice dishes.
Yeah.
But they had all kinds of, they had plenty of different types of meats you could eat.
Yeah.
They had everything. I mean, it was good.
Okay. Well, all right. That sounds pretty awesome. And I mean, did you take any pictures or video yourself, or you're just out there just to
Well,
settle in?
I just didn't bring a camera this time. I didn't bring a camera, so I didn't really get anything.
You just wanted to
basically.
soak it in on a personal
You know,
note.
I really
unwind.
I just don't like holding onto a camera, but I don't have any pictures now, so
Yeah.
there's a trade-off to be made there.
So the highlight from your perspective was the fact that you had a bunch of guys take your clothes off for you.
That's about it.
That was one of them.
Way to frame it,
No,
Craig.
Okay.
the whole boat. I mean, they had the dive deck was just spacious and comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there was times when they just They did everything for you. They,
Yeah.
you know, if you didn't want to, if there's any request you had, they would do. Like if you didn't want to wear a tank out, if you didn't want to wear your tank, they took you out in small boats to drop you off in places.
Right.
If
like
you didn't want to
little
wear a
separate
tank,
pongo or
no
something.
problem. They would
Yeah.
just help you put it on in the water. Whatever you wanted to do, they would do it for you. Whatever
Wow.
you felt like doing.
So you had like your own little private cabin boy or two.
Yeah, he was really nice.
How
I
about
had-
that?
I mean, it was
Very
just,
luxurious type.
Right.
I think
mean,
anybody could get used to that.
I would
very
like to
quickly.
shotgun a beer through my snorkel, please.
I mean, I didn't have to do, I didn't have to do any lift. Everything was taken care of. Anything that
Yeah.
required any type of labor, any
Right.
type of effort, I just stood there.
And as
did
far as
nothing.
flying, where did you have to board the boat to get on for the 2-week?
Yeah,
run?
I did have to fly. The
From
only
LA
real gripe
to-
I have about this trip was, I actually ordered this trip. Actually, the trip was supposed to, I paid for it in 2018. But COVID snuck in just before we were leaving, so
Yeah, yeah.
it didn't come to fruition until 22. So that's why I didn't plan to miss Bugfest. It wasn't
Right.
my fault.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
had to take the trip.
No
came
excuses.
up, and I
Ease
had
up,
to
Greg.
take it because I paid for it.
Yeah, I get it. No,
So-
I
Back
get
off,
it.
man.
I mean,
So-
I'd rather be, hanging out with
I
hanging
missed
out on a
Bugfest.
liveaboard
I
and
wanted to go.
having
but,
a bunch
yeah.
of guys take my clothes
Where
off
did you
too.
land in Indonesia?
Yeah.
So,
It's a place.
being smart and not wanting to miss connections, I got to Bali a week early. So the
Okay,
boat-
so it's
and then
Bali. You flew into Bali.
I flew into Bali for a week, checked out the party areas of Bali.
The
which was
party
famous.
areas. There's party areas.
I used to work out in Bally's.
Me too. I think see we have that in common. So we're halfway there, CJ.
Sweet.
Yeah, we have Bubble Boy take your clothes off for you. Get a little taste of that too. More coming up. Stay.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
I would like to extend to you an invitation to the party.
We're gonna have some fun without a doubt. At the party, scuba party. Now don't stay behind, don't get left out. At the party, scuba party. Now the scuba party is here and it's here to stay. At the party, scuba party. If you want some fun, it's the only way. At the party, scuba party. We're gonna dive in and swim all about, move around just like the top. Now at the party, a big party.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master CJ, and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me. We got Vinny Two Tanks fresh from Indonesia with us, connected via the web as part of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. And let's see, we got? I reached out to Kevin at the Equalizer. Kevin, you there, buddy? You with us?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'm
there
here.
you go.
Happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Hey, first off, thanks, Kevin, because it was because of you and the fact that we had a couple new Equalizer lobster snares for Bugfest that we limited out 12 lobster per diver for mini season on the radio.
Well, that is quite awesome to hear. Yeah, I bet that was a good time.
That was an awesome time, and our bellies are full, and we're ready to load up again because today is the official day of the regular season. So business has been pretty good for the Equalizer lobster snare, I assume. Is that a fair assumption? What do you think?
Yes, sir. That is a fair assumption. I would say yes.
So have you been getting out there on your own? I know you like to hunt for lobster. Have you been able to use
of
your
course
own
I do.
product or what?
Yes, sir. This is a business of passion. That is for sure. So we have some time scheduled in a couple weeks to get our turn down there. Hopefully everybody will leave us a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of got to wait till the rush is over to get my time away. So
Right.
I'll be aiming for the later half there.
They go into like lockdown mode the month before lobster season starts there at the facilities for that make the lobster or the Equalizer lobster snare. And so, yeah, you guys are just hunkered down. You got to get all these things put out there. And so you can go into your local dive center in Florida, pick up an equalizer lobster snare. We gave a few away at the at Bugfest. And, man, they were a huge hit because everyone's like, oh, man, I've seen one of them. I want to get one. No, now I can get out there and try it myself. It was a good time. And so, yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty effective because as far as I know, they're kind of like the only one-handed lobster snare available. Is that true, or do you know, Kevin?
No, that's pretty accurate as far as I know. I mean,
we'll go with it then.
It is the only one-handed band-powered lobster snare. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, you can use it to tickle them out at first when it's collapsed, and then once you get the lobster out there and they come out and say hi, and then you open up the equalizer and cock it and get it right behind them like, hey, little lobster.
Very good for that. That's what I did. I would get there. Come on.
Come on. Yes. Yeah, he has a little song or a calling card for the lobster. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, another real good tip is to kind of leave them in the rocks to try to get that loop around their tail. Rather than trying to get them out, keep them in the rocks. That way you can really pick them off one at a time. And that's really a useful way to use our product is in the rocks.
Oh, okay. So don't even tickle them out first. Just leave them back in there so you don't startle the other ones hanging out together. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Don't even let them start running on you.
All right. There you go. I might have to use
Unless
that
they shoot backwards even deeper if it's one of those deep holes.
Well, that's kind of what he's talking about, I think, right? If you get them right next to them, they may not freak out because
the lobsters they stay rather calm when they're in their holes there.
Yeah.
But as soon as you kind of tap them out of the holes, you got a lobster on the run there, and you're probably going to be swimming after them a little bit.
Right. And then the other lobster like, hey, what's wrong with Charlie? Wait, what's he doing? They start freaking out. It's contagious. You've heard the commercials.
Charlie's out of there.
Yeah. Well, how's it go?
Yes,
Who's
the equalizer?
Yeah. See, they see him coming. Some of them lobsters are pretty smart.
Hide, Larry.
Larry, that's it. Larry the lobster.
The lobster loose.
So yeah, I love the equalizer. They're available throughout Florida at your local dive center. If you don't see them, they're white. They have a power band in them, so they're one-handed operation, and you cock them and you're good to go. But you can go to lobsterlooper.com or what is it? Lobsterlooper.net. Lobsterlooper.net. There you go.
Yeah, it's lobsterlooper.com and then or lobstersnare.net.
That's it. Lobstersnare.net. I knew there was a couple different ones, but yeah, it'll get you to the same place. And then you pick up your own equalizer, and then you'll just slay the lobsters and be eating them in no time. Have you gotten any initial sales numbers in from this year already, or is it too early in the season to know? Like how many you've sold?
Yeah, it's a little too early in the season to kind of tell just yet. We're still right smack kind of in the middle of it for our particular season.
Yeah.
Because lobster season does run all the way through the end of the year here,
Right. But I'm just wondering if we've been seeing some huge economic activity in the dive community throughout Florida. And I'm just wondering if you're expecting to see a banner year for the equalizer sales. Is that a prediction you've been making, or what do you think?
It's a hope I've been hoping for. How about
that works. That's that's almost like going out there and expecting to limit out. The beautiful thing about what we do on the radio here, Kevin, is that every time we go out as the ScubaRadio crew and go after lobster, we limit out every single time on the radio.
I have heard that about you guys.
On the radio, yeah, absolutely. So. It's a beautiful thing, and just part of the fun activity. It's one of the best things you can do as a diver, I think, is going lobstering. Even if you don't catch them, which that would never happen with our crew, of course.
God, no.
No, but just going out there and doing the whole lobster hunting thing is just so much fun. Catching the lobster is just icing on the cake or butter on the lobster tail. So, yeah, do you have a favorite way you like to cook up your lobster when you catch them, Kevin?
Yes, sir. I'm a diehard griller right there.
You are a griller.
Just grill. Yep, garlic and butter, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple and and it's tasty because it's fresh, right? Is that the deal?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting hungry just talking about all this stuff. So, where's your spots that you're going to go here in a couple weeks, so we know to hit them before you get there?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Key Largo area. You know, it's just a little bit more boater friendly, you know, because not everybody on our boat's always scuba certified and whatnot. So, you know, it's just more of a family friendly kind of reef environment. So that's kind of where we stick to. And usually there's plenty there for everybody.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, you can go shallow down there in Key Largo and just snorkel for them and go. What, you're just going off on your private boat? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But do you have any specific coordinates that you could share with us right now?
Let me just take a look here.
Yeah, come on. That's one way I was expecting. I thought you were going to tell us where the honey hole was.
It's a nice way to say go to hell.
Yeah, I think that's what he's pretty much saying. All right. Well, he knows.
I don't blame him.
He makes the things that make catching lobster fun and easy. So that's a good.
It's up to you to find them.
The hardest part after that is just finding them.
Exactly. All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for the update. Thanks for the equalizer. We wish you the best with the business, and we'll let you get back to your lobster hunting plan. Okay, my friend?
All right. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good time out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Yeah. How can you not? You know, with a belly full of lobster, and just all you're doing is thinking about the next dive for lobster.
That's right.
We got, like you said, from now until the end of July.
That's right.
To limit out every time we go hunt the Florida lobster with our equalizer in hand.
You know that's right.
That's right. Lobsterlooper.net. Check it out. We got more coming up in hour 2, including Paradise. We're going to go to Paradise if things work out in Fiji in hour 2. That's coming up. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Y'all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, you know, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, Bubble Boy in the studio with me, Vinny Two Tanks, connected via the web as a Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. Jerry the Diver Guy might be joining us, Mermaid Rachel, Dr. Doug Ebersol. They have all threatened to join us for hour 2. We'll see who shows and who doesn't. But I did want to open up the conversation today for not just reflecting on Bugfest, but what has coincided with lobster season in Florida for the last few years has been Shark Week on the Discovery Channel, which was last week. Did you watch some of the special, CJ?
I did. I watched some of that. I watched some Nat Geo stuff.
Yeah. Well, Nat Geo went through. They did the entire month of July, I believe, is what their plan was.
Always tons of fun shark stuff to see. Most of it that I saw was pretty good. It was not real sensational stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, I purposely didn't watch a couple of them. I didn't watch the Jackass or the Impractical Jokers.
Yeah,
nonsense.
I skipped those. But there was some good stuff.
What about you, Bubble Boy? Did you see The Rock?
No, I prefer the more realistic shows like Hanna-Barbera's Squiddly Diddly.
Okay. Well, that could be, a personal preference, and that's fine. I'm not going to judge. But yeah, the good news is, other than, there has been a flurry of shark attacks, well, as they call shark attacks, but they've all been like minor incidents during Shark Week. And, they
should call them accidental bites.
Yes, they should. Divers mostly know this, but, the mainstream media, and I'll tell you what, when you watch it all, you got to think they're doing this purposely because of Discovery Channel Shark Week. Because they Shark Week is promoted heavily. It's the largest viewing time of the year for the Discovery Channel. So what they do, they plaster all the news organizations around the world with all this kind of, hey, Shark Week is here, and oh, by the way, there's shark attacks. Some of this is super hype, so Discovery gets, more attention for Shark Week. I have no question that's why a lot of these incidents get promoted on the mainstream media. You see it on CNN, Fox, everywhere, and they're promoting it. They're, like I said, a lot of it is intentional, just to stir up more interest for Shark Week. I have no doubt about it. And they get blown way out of proportion. Like you said, they're not, most of them are not shark attacks where they're very serious. It's, people getting bit in the foot or, a minor bite to a surfer or something like that. Or I would say the worst one that I saw in the last week or so, though, happened to be in our neighborhood. So there was a family, evidently, that went down to the Keys, and they were lobstering, and a 13-year-old boy, evidently, according to the story, and this was in our local news here where we're based for Scuba Radio, and literally the family lives in my neighborhood. I kid you not. Yeah. Yeah,
are they not guests on our show right now?
Well, I didn't want to reach out to them.
Because they live in our neighborhood.
Because they're not in my cul-de-sac, but they're in Oviedo, and so they're in our neck of the woods.
Pretty close.
Yes, too close for comfort, if you ask me. Because the story was a 13-year-old survived shark attack, and when you read the story, they were lobstering, and he was snorkeling, and a nurse shark, he claims, came up and bit him in the mouth, and he had like 10 stitches in his lip. And I'm like,
that's weird because they're usually not aggressive.
Generally, they are not aggressive. That is correct. However, nurse sharks have been known to be very curious when it comes to lobstering.
Oh, yeah.
They do, they'll, when you're competing for their food, they love lobster. And nurse sharks love lobster. So if you are, hunting for lobster and there's nurse sharks around, you do want to be careful because they will come after your catch. And even though they don't have the teeth like a more, traditional looking shark, like a reef shark or something like that, nurse sharks, have very strong jaws and needle-like teeth. So they can latch on and you won't get them off. They'll latch onto your arm or leg or something. And it's like a pit bull kind of bite, where you can't just yank them off your, if they get a hold of you, if they are so inclined to do
Ironically, you may need a nurse.
But usually, they are very docile sharks, these nurse sharks, and they don't, they're not aggressive.
Leave them alone.
Right. But they'll defend themselves like any other fish in the sea would. And they've been known to bite snorkelers and divers if, for instance, you see a nurse shark that's just sitting there sleeping on the ocean floor, and you go up and grab their tail.
Well, we saw one at Lauderdale by the Sea, a big one,
a huge one,
sleeping, and we're just like, all right, just leave it alone.
And you can get real close to them; they don't bother you. But if you touch them, or God forbid you grab their tail, because they look so docile, you don't realize how fast they can move, and they can literally turn on a dime and swing around and grab you.
Bite your ass.
Yeah, and this has been documented many, many times. But unless you corner them or you grab them, they usually do not have any kind of aggressive tendency
rather
at all.
bail.
Yeah, they're like any other critter that'd be would go into defensive mode if they felt they were threatened. So as long as you don't threaten them, you're not going to have a problem. Now, when it comes to lobstering, if you have a lobster catch bag, I've had this happen where, nurse shark comes up and he starts checking out my bag and wants to get it to the lobsters. And you have to make a decision like, okay, this nurse shark is coming after my catch. Now you got to get it out of the water and get it away from them.
Can you I fish out the smallest one? Here, take this one.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on the situation you're in. But, I mean, they will try to get to it. And if they get to it, if you want to try to take it away from them, good luck.
Good luck.
You're not going to have a whole lot of luck, especially if they get a hold of one of them with their mouth, because they're literally like pit bulls in that regard. Now, back to this story of this kid. He said he was just snorkeling. They saw the nurse shark and it came up and bit him in the mouth. And I'm like, what? It makes no sense whatsoever. The only thing that makes sense was one of two things. First of all, he got way too close to it. If you get up and you startled the shark, maybe it would turn around and, get you in the mouth. That sounds bizarre, first off. Or, which, maybe he went up there and he grabbed the tail.
Or stuck his tongue out at it.
No, he did not. I don't think that makes sense. But it's hard to believe that this was an unprovoked situation. I mean, the best case scenario, the nurse shark was riled up because they were hunting lobster. The family was. And maybe he was looking around for the lobster and he accidentally grabbed the kid or something and bit him in the mouth or whatever. And that's it. But it just doesn't read right. Something's not right here. We're not getting the whole story because it makes no sense in anything I've ever heard in the 25-year history of doing this radio show. And it was distressing because at the end of the story, he says, I survived it. And the next day we went out shark hunting and we caught one on a hook. I couldn't reel it in, but at least I got him back. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I hate that.
Yeah, not good. And, blown out of proportion, probably don't have the full story. And that explains why I didn't want to get him on the air and lecture him. More coming up.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
ScubaRadio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
How dare you defy your master!
The show is a disaster.
Total headbands.
He's Greg the Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
Master's my friend.
I'm not. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, Bubble Boy in the studio with me, Scuba Radio Scuba Squad, made up of Vinny Two Tanks, Barry the Bugger, and now Jerry the Diver Guy and Mermaid Rachel have even joined us. So how about that?
Now it's a show.
Now we got a show. And
damn straight, I'm here now.
Yeah, well, what the heck happened to you? Where you been,
Only an hour
Jerry?
and a half late.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Hey, he's already on Fiji time, isn't he?
Look,
Yeah.
some of us have to look good when we go to Fiji, you know.
Yeah.
When does that start?
I'm out shopping for clothes so I can make you goobers look good.
Oh.
Jerry had to bring a dresser with him.
Yeah, you know what? It was probably because of last week. It got brought up again that out of our 4-person crew for Fiji, we asked around who would be eaten first by the cannibalistic Fijians. And Mermaid Tony was there at Bugfest. And I asked her that question because she was in Fiji with us last time years ago. And I said, out of our crew of myself, CJ, Jerry the Diver Guy, and Mermaid Kristen, who do you think is going to be eaten by the Fijians first if we got into a survival situation? Without even skipping a beat, she said, Jerry. Absolutely.
Jerry and then Monkey Heart.
And I'll tell you, the clothes are not going to help. They're still going to pick you as the first one is going to be eaten.
I'll look good as hell when they're eating me, damn it.
Okay. All right.
He'll have a T-shirt on that says "Not delicious."
Yes, that's what he bought. He bought a T-shirt like spoiled,
bootylicious,
rancid. Yeah, exactly.
Plump and ripe.
Jerry, try to find one or have it made that says "I have worms."
The truth hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's a possibility.
Oh, gross.
Don't eat me. I have worms.
Oh, golly. All right. Well, he's got his Fijian T-shirt that he can get made now. But yeah. All right. So he's planning accordingly. You got a few more weeks, but yeah, we know at least we got that set up in advance before we go to Fiji. Once again, cannibalism, real popular back in the day. Fiji, they don't do it anymore for the most part, as far as we know. But just in case, I want to be prepared. A good diver is always prepared. They say that.
Or a good diver is always paranoid.
True. All I know is I don't want to be the person eaten first.
In Greg's case, he better run like hell is all I can say, because they're going to eat whoever they catch first.
Nope. Yeah. Trust me, they'll catch any of us.
So, Greg, they're going to give Jerry, a cup of kava laced with phenobarbital.
I don't think they need to even add that.
Peanut butter balls?
Need to. No, you drink too much kava, you end up doing the crab. And when they say, okay, run, and your brain will say run forward, and weirdly enough, you'll start running backwards or some other direction.
My brain runs forward, but my feet doesn't.
That's what happens when you're on Kava. Are you trying to say that happens to you in your normal life when you haven't had anything?
That kind of affects you. Well, let me just say that's an after effect with some good spring water.
Right. He's had plenty of practice with his hooch.
I've learned to make my head go backwards, my feet go forwards.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to work. The Fijians, they have. They know the rainforest better than all of us. We would have no chance. Trust me. They're going to pick who they think is the tastiest. If it comes down to that, they know.
All I can hope is I get some guy that's really into veganism or some kind of, healthy diet, because I drink a lot of beer, so I'm full of fat.
Well, fat is flavor. I've told you that many times already, and they know it too.
That's why I'm hoping for a vegan or something.
No,
that's it. A vegan cannibal. Good thinking, Jer.
He only eats vegetables, so you better watch out, Jerry.
Hey, I've tried. Okay, I've tried.
This is Greg. This is Kristen. This is CJ. This is our friend Broccoli.
Yes, exactly. That's his nickname. Yeah.
Oh God.
Jerry the eggplant.
So how much smack have you been talking about Bug Fest?
What do you mean?
Just
how
a
much
little.
smack?
Just a little.
Just the truth. That's all we've shared. Barry knows.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, we already talked about his boat and the bet and how we let him keep his boat.
You missed that.
Yeah, you're late, man. Sorry. There's no rehashing the truth.
Cannot comment.
There's no late, Barry.
No rewriting the history there, my friend.
They didn't let me keep my boat. They lost fair and square.
We let him keep his boat. Exactly.
They can say whatever they want to say. We know the truth because we ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he ate less. That's right.
Yeah.
So
just for the record, both of you can be eaten by Fijians for all I care.
That's right. That's what they ate their mahi sandwiches that they bought at a restaurant.
That's what happens when you're late, Jerry. You also missed Vinny's little part about his, clothing optional liveaboard and all that stuff.
Well, it wasn't clothing optional. No, he just had some assistance in derobing.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. just moving on. Moving on.
Don't worry, all those guys were gentle.
Yeah, let's not rehash that. We want to stay on the air for another week. All right, so let's move over to Mermaid Rachel, though, is with us. And she joined us just in the nick of time to witness
patiently
all
putting
this
up
nonsense.
With this crap.
I know.
Yeah, she's like, what the hell was I thinking coming on now? Rachel?
I know, right, guys?
Yeah.
Just tell them, Rachel, suck it.
Let her talk, please.
Yeah, please.
I don't know. You guys are going to Fiji. That's going to be pretty awesome.
It is. It's going to be great. 4 of us are going. Probably 3 of us are coming back. But regardless,
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's why you travel in numbers. Yeah, and so once they take him out, Rachel, you can come with us next time.
It's not too late to make the. It's not too late to make the Virgin Atlantic cruise, right?
It's the virtual what?
The Virgin Atlantic cruise we're going on in October.
Yeah, what about
it? It's not too late to make that. You can still sign up for that, right?
Of course, yeah. October 5th, we're going out. That's more of like a dive industry thing. We got Stuart Coves joined us. He signed up, and Captain Slate might be joining us as well. We got a bunch of people on that one, but that's October 5th. We're going out of Miami, hitting Key West and Bimini in the Bahamas as well, which I know is a place Rachel wants to go. But Rachel,
I do.
Yeah, have you been doing?
I'm still waiting to hear back on my work schedule, but I'm really hoping that I can actually swing that one.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, when we go to the Bahamas, we don't have to, designate someone to be eaten. They don't really do that. They just get them hammered on rum and that kind of thing. And that's kind of goes with the territory. Fits with our crew well. We'll talk about that and then some next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Excuse me. I need to rent 6 tanks, 80 cubic feet each, 4 regulators.
Sure thing. You going lake diving?
No.
Really? Is it a cavern?
I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio, connected via the web, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad, Barry the Bugger, Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Rachel. We got a full crew now, just in the time to wrap things up.
Just in time to shut her down.
Yeah, we were supposed to connect with our friends in Paradise, but they don't want to welcome us there just yet, I guess. We're having some problems. You know, we're upside down. Fiji is in the future. Do you know that? While we do the show on a Saturday afternoon in Florida, it is Sunday morning in Fiji. And
well, Greg, they logged in yesterday, Greg. Come on.
What do you mean they logged in yesterday?
They're a day behind us, Greg, or a day ahead of us, Greg.
That's what I just said, I think.
Yeah, that's why I said
they're in the future.
Logged in yesterday.
No, they did not. They did not log in the future.
Captain Crunch right now.
I don't know why. Why would they eat Captain Crunch in Fiji? They eat
because they're on boats.
If you were there, they'd eat you, Barry. So you just keep your traps shut, buddy. No, but I will tell you. Whoa! I will tell you.
I
Paradise.
might be the appetizer, but Jerry's the main.
Just
course.
Quiet.
Jesus.
You know the Paradise, that resort on the island of Taveuni in Fiji, is one of my favorite places on the planet. There's just a handful of spots that I've wanted to go back to and see if the magic is still there. And I know it is, because when you go to that
you leave me out of this.
What? What do you mean? You don't want to go?
Magic.
I want to hear about your magic.
Quiet. The thing about Paradise is that the diving is amazing, but it's literally like walking out onto a tropical postcard. Because the layout of the resort called Paradise is just mind-boggling.
Oh, great.
And I'll never forget it. I remember walking out on the lawn of the resort past the first building, and you see this sign. It says, "Welcome to Paradise." And you go through the like palm trees, and then it just opens up to this scene and like a big mountain in the background of the ocean and the palm trees and the sunset. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Just a most amazing place, visually for sure. And then the diving was just awesome. They have a house reef there at Paradise where they have these ribbon eels, which for us in the Caribbean are extremely rare. Now they're fairly common.
Yeah.
They're in Fiji, and especially there at that particular house reef off the coast of Paradise, right in front of Paradise. And they have flashlight fish at night. So you go out there on the cliff.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, they have a little school of flashlight fish. And at night, you look down in the ocean. It's kind of a cliff. It's not like there's a beach right there per se, but then you look down the cliff and there's like pools of water at night, and you see these little flashes. And I'm like, what the heck's that? He goes, oh, that's our school of flashlight fish.
And I'm like, what? And it's the freakiest thing. You think you'd be looking down at a UFO encounter or something. It's pretty wild. So I assume they still have those. I mean, it's been like, 7, 8 years.
Is Paradise where they have the white wall?
I believe that is correct. Yeah.
I know it's one of those.
The white wall, unless I'm fuzzy on my memory, they call it that because it's loaded with white anemones or some kind of tourniquet type of a critter. So at night, they come out to feed, and so in the daytime it just looks like a wall, like a rocky blackish grayish wall. But at night, the critters open up on the wall and turn the entire wall white.
I don't want to contradict you, but I've seen pictures and video on YouTube and stuff. That you can see it during the day. That there's a lot of white on it.
Well, I mean, it may be a bit of both.
Yeah,
maybe a bit of both.
Maybe it's more at night. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, when they're out feeding, it turns into the white wall because of all those critters that decorate the wall. So maybe they feed all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's not just
either way. I'm looking forward to
it.
It
is good. Time. But yeah, and then you get a massage right there on the cliff, overlooking the ocean, and they have
on this.
Excuse me. Did Jerry just burp?
I said I'm with CJ on this.
Okay.
No.
So he would like to get a couples massage out on the beach in Paradise, and hey, whatever they do is up to them. That's fine. Mermaid Rachel, let's go back to them.
Negatory.
All right. There's enough out of you.
Whatever,
Rachel.
Greg, come on.
Yeah, have you been
done a couple massage on the beach?
What is wrong with him? Is there something wrong with him?
No, I actually agree with him on this.
You're killing me.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You just quiet down, big boy.
Oh, God.
All right. So, Rachel, I want to go back to you. Otherwise, we're never going to find out what's up with you. Wait. What's going on? Who is that? Someone just started sounding like Max Headroom. Rachel, come in.
She was doing well, but I think it.
Who is that, Jerry?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
There she is. Jerry, mute your mic already. Mute it. You've talked enough, damn you. Mute your mic, Jerry. You sound ridiculous.
Yeah, there's somebody sounding like a robot.
Yes. All right. Well, anyway, Rachel, have you been diving? Have you been doing your free diving stuff lately, or what have you been up to?
Yes, I have been. So as you can see here, I am out at Lake Washington. So I just got a dive session in with some buddies. We were hitting repeat 30-meter dives and just enjoying the sun and the beautiful Seattle weather in the summer.
Excellent. I love it. I mean, what were you doing? Trying to do some records, or what were you doing?
No, this one is just depth acclimation. So I'm below my PBs today, but it's just slowly working back up to those personal bests.
Got it.
So, yeah. It was nice and comfortable, and
yeah. By the way, hold on. Who's making all that racket? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Jerry. Jerry, you're making too much damn noise. Will you quiet down? I can't hear Rachel. All right.
I'm muted, damn it.
You are not muted.
Yes.
You are not. I hear you.
I am unmuted now, and I have been muted, damn it.
Okay, well, mute again. Don't you say a word, damn you.
Take off a sock, stuff it in your mouth.
Okay, there we go. All right, Rachel. So I mean, the idea was just to kind of get in the water and do some free diving and just enjoy yourself. Is that it?
Yeah. So the goal is to get reps in. So the more reps you get in, the more you're able to train what's called your mammalian dive reflex. So that way you can. Basically, your body has a bunch of physiologic mechanisms that protect it when it goes down to depth on one breath. And so how you do that is you just do repeat dives to each depth so your body gets used to the depth, and then you can progress deeper safely.
So that is your mammalian dive reflex, or in Barry's case, reptilian?
Yeah, amphibian.
Vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
No. When it gets cold, Barry falls out of a tree.
Oh, makes so much sense now.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, but that's what connects us more to like dolphins and things, right?
Exactly. So your heart rate will slow down, so you can conserve oxygen. The blood or your blood vessels in your periphery constrict, so it shunts all the blood to your core. So, all of the air spaces in your chest, when they compress, will still stay protected. So it's actually really cool to kind of nerd out about the physiology behind freediving.
Yeah, no question. I've said this many times before. I think if you take a freediving class and you work on that skill, it just makes you a better diver as well, because it gives you a little bit more, spatial awareness when you're in the water column and stuff, when you're freediving and stuff. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You are now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hey, man. Hey, what are you doing today? I don't know. I was kind of bored. You want to do something cool? Well, like what? We could go scuba dive. Oh, yeah, that sounds great. I've never done it before. Well, there's only a few things that you got to do to be good at it, and it's really easy to learn. Here, I'll show you. Come with me.
Okay, everyone, let's get our gear on. Let's go for our dive. Tanks are right here.
Now, to be a scuba diver, it can be so much fun. Making memories and sharing good times in the sun. Descend with the quickness, equalize so you don't pop. To avoid decompression sickness, always make a safety stop. Gonna be a scuba diver. Gonna be an underwater survivor. I'm gonna be a scuba diver.
Well, you're in the right place. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, Bubble Boy in the studio, connected via the web. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad, Vinny, Two Tanks, Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, and Mermaid Rachel. So Rachel's been doing some freediving stuff and practicing there at the lake. And literally, it looks like you're dripping wet as we speak. You just got out of the water. Is that what happened, Rachel?
Yeah, I literally got out of my wetsuit, got into some normal person clothes, and called you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm fresh out of the water.
Do you have a staff of I don't know, guys that help you take your wetsuit off for you, like Vinny Two Tanks did on his latest liveaboard in Indonesia? Or
Wow, that sounds fancy. No, if I need help out of my wetsuit, that's what the dive buddies are for. You get some good dive buddies, help each other out, keep each other safe, help
There
each other
you
out
go.
of each other's wetsuits. Yeah.
All right. Well, so she could recruit help if she needs it. But yeah,
Exactly.
Vinny had his own private, cabin boys or something. I don't know what the
fancy.
technical term, or fellow dive masters, and they helped him, get his wetsuit on and off, and that was just a thing. It's I know, you wouldn't want that, would you, Rachel? Probably not.
Well, I mean, I used to do that when I was working as a dive master in Thailand. That's part of the customer service that you provide. If people
Yeah,
are
okay.
struggling out of their
That's
wetsuits,
part of
you help
that's
them out.
it's in the culture. That's why they do that then, I guess, huh? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you
It's
go.
just customer service, right?
Well, Vinny liked it. He gave it 2 fins up,
I
right,
hope you
Vinny?
tipped them well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Vinny, did you tip him well? Did you give him like an extra pat on the back, pat on the bum, or what? Like, good job, boys.
You
Yeah,
want
we-
to tell him to unmute?
No, we don't need to hear his
No,
response.
no.
That's
Imagine
fine.
his response.
Yeah. Anyway, I do got at least one more little nugget to share with the crew today. There's a story that came out about a new deep diving robot. And, you can't see this on the radio too well, but I'll try to describe it. You've seen those underwater submersibles.
Looks like an Oompa Loompa.
It does.
What the hell?
But, like one of those deep diving robots that you'd see that go explore like Titanic and stuff like that. But then they put like hands and a little robot head, almost like a crash test dummy underwater is what it looks like to me. Is that a fair description, you think? There, CJ?
Well, made after Barry.
Made after Barry, according to Jerry. Yeah. Yes. See, they're always trying.
Oompa, oompally.
Oompally.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a good description of Barry, but it's pretty creepy. I mean, if you were diving and you came across one of these underwater ROVs, I think I would freak out.
Get the hell out of there.
I mean, that thing looks like a creeper.
It does look pretty creepy.
Damn, you spent all week with Barry, Greg. You know he's pretty
From here, it looks like
anyway.
Phil Collins with a sunburn.
Yeah, well, okay. It looks like it is. It looks like the robot's wearing a mask. You know, like a superhero mask. It just looks odd. But
look on the camera.
Like Superman or Batman?
Well, he has more of a, I don't know, that's kind of like a Batman type of mask, I guess, or I don't know.
He could be Crab Man or something.
Okay. Yeah, Jerry, you've had too much to drink. I don't know what is wrong with you. No, I'm kidding.
Greg, look up on the screen.
Yeah, I see this, and you can see it on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. But Barry's showing it up to the camera. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's an underwater robot they evidently came out with, and it's basically an ROV that they've turned into like a more humanoid-looking type.
Who's they, and what do they use it for?
Well, they're using it for deep sea exploration, but is this the future? Are they out to replace us?
It's a water terminator.
We're going to be replaced by robots if they have their way. I mean,
that's been in the making for a long time, though.
That's one way to limit out on lobster season.
What have a dive
Just
buddy that's a robot?
Just have it, program it to go collect 6 lobsters or 12 during the mini season.
Well,
Get
you
back
know,
on the boat.
It has 2 arms and hands and the whole thing. I don't see why they couldn't program it to do that. That'd be an interesting thing. And you just kick back in your living room and operate the humanoid ROV.
That's no fun.
That wouldn't be the same. It'd turn it into a video game.
That's no fun.
You know? Yeah. But I mean, but it does look like, you know, could this be the future? If it is, we're all doomed. If you ask me, I don't like it.
We could still
I don't
dive.
like it one bit.
We can still dive.
Yeah, then we'll all just have to die for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's
imagine that, Greg.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the humanoid robot could die for fun too. It'd just be a real creep. You know, have that as your dive buddy, though, wouldn't it?
No, just stay away from it.
I was like, you know, I mean, you can look at the bright side and say, okay, well, if I had a humanoid dive buddy, I wouldn't have to have Barry or Jerry with me.
He could carry
I
the
had
flag.
Barry as my damn dive buddy in Lauderdale.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me.
Yeah. The old Barry and Jerry show was going on big time.
God.
You know, they were helping each other. They were working together. When they were yelling at each other, you couldn't hear them because we were underwater. Yeah. And but no one died. I thought
here they are.
Yeah. They made it back. Yeah. I think honestly, when you look at them and what we saw between Barry and Jerry, CJ, I mean, I do think it kind of brought them together.
Easy.
What?
Let's go easy on
No,
that.
yeah, I'm just saying you guys were actually a much better buddy team than I expected you to be.
Well, you know, he's lucky that he come up with some bugs because
you didn't even dive.
He didn't come up.
Yeah. Jerry blew off the second dive. Did he dive at all?
Yeah, he dove the first.
Dove the first one, right?
I did the first one. Then I had a little sinus issue that knocked me out of my second one, and which in turn kind of made me sick. And I thought I was going to hurl.
Well, it's only fair because you've been making us sick for years.
Well, hey, I can't help that.
Touche.
With your swill.
Yeah,
exactly.
The medulla oblongata.
Payback is a.
I can't help it. Y'all love me no matter what.
Well, okay.
We do love you, Jay.
Yeah.
But still, I am the champion.
That's
right.
No matter what.
Well,
Barry
and Jerry
be in Fiji taking each other's wetsuits off.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
Barry's wishful thinking right there.
Not
there
me.
You go.
No, the 3 of you.
You brought it up. Come on, we know what's on your mind.
We know the 3 of you are going to Fiji, a nice romantic island. You're going to go dive and take each other's wetsuits off.
Barry.
You mean the 4 of us?
Yeah, there's
Barry,
4 of us, Barry.
Who?
Barry, what did I tell you a couple weeks ago?
Catch
Shut up.
lobsters.
Never
Just
speak of this
shut up.
again.
Wear
You
the
said
red
no
dress.
lobsters.
Barry. Barry. I said,
Lose the dress,
shut
keep
up.
the heels.
You
Oh,
need
God.
to keep your
Too much
mouth
glitter.
quiet.
Yeah, okay. That's oh, golly. I got a bad feeling this is just going to be a sampling of what our travels are going to be like in Fiji. We have like an 11-hour flight we're going to have with Fiji Airways. A lot of time to bond.
Bring your earbuds.
Yeah. And ointments. Anyway, that'll do it for this week. Till next time, remember, it's always better. Where, gang? Come on.
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
Stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, so now what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.